100%. The reason why the $1,000 in emergency funds is important is so that you don't have this huge negative that now when you do go to work and make those wages to make the money, we've already got that money budgeted, right? Like to zero. And so where's that money for the 1,000 coming from? And that, go ahead.
You have to just like cut your, like slash your budget.
100%. So now we're in mom's house, right? Mom, yeah, mom, I miss you. That's what you call mom. You're like, I miss you so much, mom. Can I come over every night for 3 meals? Or like whatever it is. Can you make leftovers so I can have breakfast and lunch tomorrow too? So if you have that emergency fund, you're protecting yourself so that when that does happen, it doesn't set you back on the other things. That's really the reason for it. Now, when somebody here, the young lady mentioned about the something happens with your job, and this young lady over here mentioned rent. That's the midterm. So it's recommended that, this is really hard. Now I'm going to be very real with you. This part is probably the hardest thing I'm going to talk about. This is the hardest thing to do. Having 3 months of savings, 3 months of expenses saved. If you get an accident, an injury, and you can't work. If your job has a layoff and you're out of a job, and it takes you a couple months to find a job, your landlord is still going to expect rent. Your phone company is still going to expect you to pay the bill. Your car company is still going to expect you to pay that bill. So if you don't have money to pay that, and then you just settle for a lower paying job, that could throw you off. You can just see how that kind of gets out of control. So this is hard. I know it's hard, but 3 months of expenses, if you can save that, right now that you guys don't have debt, really try. Really, really try. Just so that you know, we're in LA, I work in Studio City. A lot of my clients are actors, writers, producers, directors, and one of the things, I don't know if anybody here want to go into the entertainment industry? Okay, so and I think that's awesome, and I work with many people in the entertainment industry. Please do not come up to me and ask me to introduce you, because I don't have those kind of relationships, I don't have that kind of a network. But here's what I will tell you about people in the entertainment industry. They have a phrase called feast or famine. When things are good, they're freaking great. When things are bad, Mom, I miss you so much, right? It's like, that's my favorite example. And so what we tell, I mean, her tortillas are like, you guys don't even know. But people in the entertainment industry, and I have these conversations on a weekly basis at least. I have to tell my clients, we have to make sure you have 12 months of reserves. Why 12 months? Because in the entertainment industry, you don't know when that next show is going to come up. You don't know if your show's going to get canceled. You don't know if something's going to happen to you that doesn't allow you to produce. You don't know if Netflix wants to change direction of where they're going with the show and they change writers. And again, from the talent on screen to the talent off screen, it's tough. So if you want to be in the entertainment industry, that number of 3 months, my clients are at 12 months. It's kind of scary, right? Long term, as soon as you get a job, this is for all of you. As soon as you get a job, look into opening a retirement account, an IRA. A Roth IRA is what I will recommend to all of you, but you can go and do research about traditional and Roth, and you do your research, but I do want to recommend it to all of you. Inquire about retirement accounts. If your company that you work for offers what's called a 401k, or if you work for a state-funded or nonprofit an organization that's either state-funded or nonprofit, you might get a 403b. But still inquire about those. Here's why. Let's say this calculator, by the way, if you're wondering where I got it, Dave Ramsey's website. If at 20 years old, I start saving for my retirement, and I plan to retire at 67 and I don't have anything saved, but I start then, and I contribute $250 a month. Remember, in my budget, in our budget, we contributed to $250 to long-term saving. And if I earn 7% every year on that account, here's what will happen. And all of this, you can research it, okay? This is historical data. When I turn 67, I have $1 million. Now you might say, why do I need $1 million at 67? Well, I want that now. Or I'm just going to work really, really hard to make $1 million now, to become a millionaire now. Well, here's the reason why. When you contribute that $250, you see that calculation, $141,000? Your $250 in all those years only adds up to $141,000. It's not that much. Oh, and some of you are like, it's all out for me. Yeah, it's for me too. But with that compound, do you guys understand the concept of compounding? Have you learned the concept of compounding? Is that things make money, money makes interest on interest. So if you have $1 and you earn 1 penny, and you're gonna earn that penny consistently, for month 1, I earn 1 penny. Month 2, I'm gonna earn a penny on $1 and 1 penny. Month 3, I'm gonna earn a penny on $1 and 2 pennies. And so you start compounding, you're earning an interest rate on interest of the prior month. This is math, this is not magic. That turns into $915,000 of just growth. You didn't save that money. It just grew to that. Here's why this is important. When you retire, when I retire, I don't know if Social Security is going to be around. I hope it is. But and I just had this meeting, I had a meeting like this last week with a client. He saved $1 million, he needs to retire. On that $1 million, we're going to be able to give him $60,000 a year, and the million's going to stay flat. So that million's going to pay him, and that million is not going to go away. It's going to be there through his lifetime. We did a whole calculation. He was so happy. He was like, had tears in his eyes because he never thought he'd be in this position. So I say all of that to tell you, to encourage you, save for your future. Save for your future. My parents didn't have this kind of an education, and they just worked really, really, really hard, and I thank God for my parents, but we can be more educated and make better decisions. Yeah? Great question. So that all of you hear what she said, and I'm listening to you. I'm just trying to do this because I have to wrap up soon, and I want you guys to have these slides. So while I'm doing this, I'm really sorry that I'm giving you guys my back or my shoulder. So she asked, how do I know that I'm going to earn 7%? The reason I know that is because historically, the market, let's say for the last 30 years, the market, for the last 40 years, okay, because that includes a couple recessions, major recessions, and a couple big crashes in the capital markets. In the last 40 years, the market has averaged a return of 8.5%. So when people say, oh, investing in the stock market is gambling, no, it's not. Investing in stocks is believing that the companies that we're using today are going to be here tomorrow. That's what it comes down to. Who thinks Apple is probably going to be around for a while? So when you kind of have a general consensus, now sometimes that could be a trap, and they call them bubbles. It could be a trap at times, but when a company is continually innovative, they have so much money in cash that when other companies come up and try to compete, they are able to absorb them, take that information, and make their company stronger. That's how we can gauge where the economy is going. Who here thinks the economy over time will get better? I know, right? That's a loaded question, right? Because we think of politics. Interestingly enough, when you look at historical data, and I told you I wasn't going to get into politics, so here's all I'm going to say. Interestingly enough, you guys do the research on this, okay? Make a mental note. Javi said, when you look at the historical data, it's a wash what party is in office regarding the economy. Now, you might have different views on social matters, you might have different views on global matters. I do too. I told you, my background's in theology, so I'm all over the place, okay? I'm tortillas, money, you know? I told you I'm all over the place. But it's a wash. The economy is designed to grow, so if we choose to not participate, that's okay, but then we don't take advantage of it. That's historical data. That's not my best guess. That's historical data. Take a picture of this slide if you can. Here's what I want to tell you about credit. I'm going to run through it, okay? I'm going to say some things, let me preface it, that may go against whatever your parents have taught you and whatever you may have thought and whatever your parents think. And so just understand this. I believe that we need to honor our parents. So I'm not trying to make you get into arguments with your parents, but I want to